little new caterpillars like the one on JP's face. All right, go ahead and stand up, fellas. All right. So, well done. You got the idea now. JP, would you like to set the stage?
Yeah, sure thing. All right, that looks pretty set.
That's very nice. I like that. All right, would you like to describe the scene?
All right. Now, we're gonna take you back, far back, to June. So, Dandy and I witnessed this story. We're going to share it with you guys. Now, it was a cold June afternoon. It was about 91 degrees.
And they're freezing.
They're freezing. Woo! They don't prep us for that type of weather. Now, Matt and Ben were two mighty fine steel drivers for the Cimarron and Northwestern Railway.
Yes, sir. They're mighty fine steel drivers. The best, in fact. But somehow they never had the chance to encounter each other till one day Matthew was walking alongside the track and he brushes into Ben lightly as a feather. Lightly as a feather. I need more feathering. I need more feathering. Feathering. All right.
Now, you see, Ben, very injured by this movement, but doesn't show it because he's a strong, independent man who don't need no woman. Looks at Matthew, looks this man into the windows of his soul, and says to him, pointing at his shoes, "What are those?"
Now, Matthew, well, rather his narrator doesn't know how to respond to that. So he retorts with the best next option. Of course, actually, Matthew is as perturbed as a rattlesnake at the bottom of a red roof.
Ooh. That's an image.
At the bottom of a red roof. Perturbed and rattling. Oh. All right. So now Matthew, realizing that his new adversary was insulting his choice of footwear, decides to retort with his own insult. So he points his finger at Ben, and he says, "You carpetbagging rapscallion, you curmudgeonly cur, you Sasquatch hunting, Gatorade swigging, micro-pure eating, barber's son mongrel. Your mother was a hamster, and your father smelled of elderberries." And they're back in center stage.
Now, Ben walks past Matt, trying to comprehend what was just said. Mainly, that's the narrator's fault here. But he realizes that probably simple squabbling is not going to solve nothing. And he's going to take the higher road and assert his dominance through a contest of manliness. So, he gives a feat of strength. He flexes his right calf. He flexes his left calf. And he shows a little ankle.
Oh,
Oh!
Oh my gosh! Woo! Woo! Oh,
Instead
Matthew,
of little, we need a
Matthew, where are
not
you?
long, all right?
Matthew, all right, we're good. I can see. All right. Wow.
Right.
Right.
Those are really white.
So,
I like them.
Matthew. Because Matthew willingly embracing this contest, points behind him and says, "See the 22 miles of the Cimarron and Northwestern Railway. I laid the entirety of that track in one day, no, in 1 hour, with one spike maul, one piece of rail, and one spike."
Now, Ben realizes that this must be a bluff, because that just don't make sense. Turns to him and decides to come up with his own bluff. You see, Ben says, "You know those rails down there? That each weighing, they're 70-pound rails, 33 feet long, weighing 770 pounds? Well, I could take one of those in one hand, one in the other hand, and curl them into a cube." Be the cube. Be the cube.
All right.
not seeing it.
I've never seen a Q before in my life. In fact, neither has Matthew. See, he realizes this is a complete and utter fabrication because a Q, as everybody knows, is a mythical beast. They don't exist. And so, realizing the direction of their discourse, he decides to turn this into an intellectual debate.
Ooh, Ben gets scared.
And so, he points to his narrator and says, "See the man narrating for me. Observe the long flowing locks, his natural height, and how tall his hat is. Between his height, his hat, and his ego, they are as tall as you are dumb."
Oh! No! No! Hold up!
Hold up.
So, Ben, I think we gotta come up with something. Alright. So, Ben points to his narrator and says, "You see JP over here? You notice that when he walks through that meadow over there, flowers wilt at his stench? Well, that stench is still a sweeter stench than the stench of your debate."
Oh, no, okay. Oh, Lord, let's get personal. All right.
Do it one more time.
Come on this way, Matthew. We got a game plan. That made no sense. We got this. All right. So, Matthew, recognizing ad hominem and non sequitur when he sees it, realizes that he has this argument in the bag. Hold up. I have the bag. Here, take the bag. There you go. He has the argument in the bag. And so he reaches into the bag, unveils the argument, and puts it back in just for emphasis. And he says, "Earlier today, I saw a little mountain goat attempt its first and its last flight.
Wait, what?
And as the mama mountain goat pushed it from the cliff, it spread its hooves, and it flapped once, it flapped twice, and it landed flat on the ground. And now you see, that little mountain, and go ahead and stand on up, Matthew. This is the real kicker right here. That little mountain goat's attempts at flight are still better than your attempts at debate." Hey, do one of those achoo things on him. The sneeze. No, sneeze. There you go. He sneezed at you. What you gonna do about it?
I got nothing. I think I got away with the stall. Alright. So, Matt and JP
You need a stall of Red Roots over there.
are both stunned and standing in the middle of the track. Well, JP's not. JP's smart, but Ben is standing in the middle of the track, and he's stunned, and he gives a look towards Matt, and then he looks off just in time to see the old Baldwin 280, old Sally, the locomotive, barreling down towards him, and he realizes that there is no one controlling old Sally.
Oh no.
So he gives a deer in the headlights look with antlers.
All right, now do. And so, Matthew, now wanting his former foe to be run over unceremoniously by this here locomotive, lightly pushes him out of the way and jumps out of the way himself, and old Sally zooms past them just in the nick of time. All right.
All right. Now, old Sally's barreling down the canyon, going this way now because of Stem.
Stem.
And Ben looks at Matt, realizes that his former enemy just saved his life. So he looks at him and he goes, "Together, we must save old Sally."
Now, Matthew doesn't say anything, he just starts taking off running. And so they're running this way after old Sally. After old Sally.
And Ben's running the same direction.
They're running this way. And of course, everything's so hectic, it's as if they were moving in slow motion. No, they're not fun.
Red light.
Oh.
Green light.
Right now they're kind of pushing each other.
Red light.
No.
Green light. Red light.
You're not pushing the button anymore. All right.
Green light.
And they're just running forward. All right. And so they get there and they catch up to the caboose of old Sally. And Matthew turns to Ben and he says, "You must throw me onto old Sally."
Ben grabs hold of Matt and not actually, but find a way to act
Pantomimes
this
it.
out. Pantomimes throwing him onto old Sally.
And now Matthew, as he's thrown, grabs a hold of Ben and pulls him. And they were thrown so hard that they land in the boiler room of old Sally, right there at the front.
Because of STEM. Now, here they are in that kitchen. Well, not a cooking kitchen, but the kitchen with the boiler in it.
Yes, sir.
And now, they see it. The way to stop old Sally. If they grab hold of the single air brake.
It's only one. Grab hold of it.
Grab hold.
They grab hold of it, and they start to pull.
And they pull.
They pull.
And pull.
They pull.
And they pull.
Oh, the weight of their newly forged bridges
Watch out for the
is
man
not
alive.
so much to even budge the air brake. So they're back on the air brake, and they're still pulling. They're not giving up. And as outside picks up more speed, she's a barreling locomotive. She starts swaying from side to side.
From side to side.
From side to side.
From two.
And from 2,
3.
from
5.
side,
Side. To side.
And she hits a sharp curve, and Matthew and Ben are launched, and they land on their sides. This direction.
Wait, no.
I'm sorry, no, it was this way.
Yeah, it was this way. Sorry, guys. We're trying to remember the story.
And so, Matthew and Ben, marvelously, are uninjured. So they stand on up, brush themselves off. They gloat over old Sally for a little while, and they decide to lift old Sally back onto the tracks. So they take one hand, because that's the best leverage, and using a sharp jerking motion to the right, they lift her up onto the tracks, and there she is. And they shine her up a little bit, admire their work, and realize they're about to get fired. Because you see, this is the somewhat fictionalized but entirely true story about how Matthew and Ben are wholly responsible for old Sally's derailment outside of Springer, New Mexico. So give it up for Matthew and Ben. Thank you very much. So, standing over here on stage left, wearing the denim overalls, we have Differential Equation Dawson. Now you see, we call him Differential Equation Dawson because he's the only one among us that knows a lick of math. Now between his fingers and his toes, he can count to 10 twice. Alright, give it up for Differential Equation Dawson. Alright, now standing over here on stage right, on the far stage right, we have a man who stands 7 feet tall on a 2-foot stage. Now, his name is John Page Bates. You can call him JP, you can call him John, you can call him Page, you can call him whatever you like, just don't call him late for dinner. Ooh. Give it up for JP. Alright, now leaning against the back rail in here, we have our resident track expert. Now, he's as handy on the git fiddle as he is on the track, and when he starts to sing, the whole canyon stops just to listen. Give it up for Mr. Lee Callahan. Now, my name is Dandy Barrett. I hail from Fort Worth, Texas. The proud state of Texas. I said the proud state of Texas. Yeah! And let me tell you, the proudest thing I ever done is leaving it for good. All right. So enough about us, because you see, earlier today, I know for a fact, each and every one of you was sworn into our company. That makes this here Jubilee just as much about you as it is about us. So JP and I are going to tell a story to which we were eyewitnesses. We viewed it between our own little focus here. Now, of course, we're going to need your help as we tell the story.
Welcome on to the first annual Railroad Jubilee!
Yeah!
Now, this is not an opera. This is not a Christmas show. In fact, we want this to be more like a metal concert. Yeah! If y'all feel the urge to start a mosh pit, I'm just kidding, no moshing, that's dangerous.
Is that like a mashed potato? I do love me a good tater.
But anyway, if y'all want to get up and dance in the aisles or like clap along, please like let the music take you
You ever
away.
had it when you took those potatoes, you smashed them and put the gravy on top? That's good.
Something that y'all don't get to have out here. Sorry about that.
Yeah, dude.
But anyway, this first song we're gonna do, this is the song about John Henry. Now John Henry was a steel driving man. He had a 20-pound spike maul in each of his hands, both at the same time. Can y'all do that?
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I bet.
Sure.
Well, John Henry was a little baby sitting on his daddy's knee. Well, he'd pick up a hammer and a little piece of steel, cry, this hammer's gonna be the death of me, Lord, Lord. This hammer's gonna be the death of me. Now the captain said to John Henry, I'm gonna bring that steam drill round. I'm gonna bring that steam drill out on these tracks, gonna knock that steel on down, Lord, Lord. Knock that steel on down. Take it away, fiddle. Now John Henry said to the captain, "Lord, a man ain't nothing but a man. That before I let that steam drill beat me down, I'm gonna die with a hammer in my hand, Lord, Lord. Die with the hammer in my hand." Does anyone have the spikes? Grab them, baby. John Henry, what is that storm I hear? John Henry said that ain't no storm, Captain, Lord, that's just my hammer in the air, Lord, Lord, that's just my hammer in the air. You with the cowhand. Now John Henry hammered in the mountains. Lord, his hammer was striking fire. But John Henry worked so hard, he broke his heart. John Henry laid his hammer down and died, Lord, Lord. John Henry laid his hammer down